Zipper rolls out to the right, pitches off to Taylor, and Taylor's to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Billy Taylor! Touchdown, Billy Taylor! Billy Taylor scored a touchdown from 21 yards out. The crowd goes berserk. It was November 22nd, 1969. That they came to Barry, Michigan, all dressed in maize and blue. The words were said, the prayers were read, and everybody cried. But when they closed the coffin, there was someone else inside. Oh, they came to Barry, Michigan, but Michigan wasn't dead. And when the game was over, it was someone else instead. 11 Michigan Wolverines put on the gloves of gray, and as the organ played the victors, they laid Woody Hayes away. Under center is Wangler at the 45. He goes back. He's looking for a receiver. He throws downfield to Carter. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Welcome to the Michigan Man Podcast on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew, for Wolverine fans from coast to coast. Go Blue and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. It's the bye week, and Michigan is taking a few days off, and then we'll get back to work preparing for Minnesota next Saturday up in Minneapolis. So next week we'll have plenty of time to focus on another tough road game for the Wolverines. Today I'm bringing you another Michigan Man Extra show. My guest will be a gentleman considered key in helping to bring Coach Jim Harbaugh back to Michigan. If you read John U. Bacon's Endzone, The Rise, Fall, and Return of Michigan Football, you know who the Beav is. His name is Jay Flannelly. He is a Michigan grad, former student manager, and he's well known in the Michigan football family and well connected. He is close friends with Tom Brady and was instrumental in bringing Tom into the recruitment of then 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh. Jay is a Michigan diehard, and he's passionate about Michigan athletics. He hails from Andover, Massachusetts, and he's also a huge New York Mets fan. And he has no love for Sparty. He's a great interview, and we cover a lot of ground on today's show, including his thoughts on Saturday's heartbreaker against Michigan State. The Beav, Jay Flannelly, is up next, here on the Michigan Man Extra, on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. Jay Flannelly, also known as the Beav, is with us to talk this week about his involvement and his part in bringing Coach Jim Harbaugh back home to Michigan. Jay, great to have you with us.
Mike, thanks for having me, buddy, and thanks for the kind words and introduction.
I need your help. I need you to help me to not jump off the ledge after what we witnessed Saturday night in the big house.
First of all, thanks again, Mike, for having me on, but let me give you a little bit about my background and how I can help you deal with this. I'm going to be 44 in a month. My Mets are battling to be in the World Series, so that's a nice little distraction. Mike, you will meet a lot of different people in your life. You will not find anybody who hates the Michigan State Spartans more than this caller. If I owned a business, I wouldn't hire any of them. If they walked in any place I work, I'll make them pay me a tax. I just have no use for them and their program. I hate Tom Izzo. I hate Mark D'Antonio. And I don't care what they think or what I just said. I hate their guts, or they hate us. They just won't say it publicly most of the time. What happened yesterday, to me, is a good thing for a lot of ways. Our program for the last 7 years has been kicked around by that school. It's like the skinny guy at the beach who had the sand kicked at him. And we fought and battled, overcame a lot of horrific calls. The Joe Bolden thing is one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen them all. I'm down about it because of some of the other stuff that's going on social media. But our program is heading in the right direction. Coach Harbaugh and the staff are incredible. Things are turning. They know it. We know it. The score indicates that we had the game won. An unfortunate mistake happened. Football is a strange game. Sports is a strange thing. Things happen in games. Balls bounce the right way. Tom Brady could easily be 1-5 in Super Bowls or 6-0 in Super Bowls. He's 4-2. So you figure out what the math is. And, it sucks for our fans, our fan base, and Coach Harbaugh. This would have been a nice win. The seniors on that team, my captains, Courage and Bolden, great kids. They played great. They played a great game, bounce, play, and people need to understand another thing here. Michigan State's good. I know they haven't had a lot of, success early in the year, but they've been great for a while now. Done a bunch of BCS games, won a Rose Bowl, and we're in a restructure mode. There's a reason why we're our third coach in 7 years. So got to bear with them, hang tough, and things will turn around. One of my buddies back home says, we are stronger where we were broken. Remember that. Mike, you okay? You put the whiskey down? You gonna be all right?
That makes me feel a little bit better.
I could actually take it one step further to make it even worse. I was on the staff here for the Colorado game in '94, so what just happened yesterday makes that look like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you go to my Facebook page, I just posted a video of a kick. Well, it's a play where my high school team, my junior in high school in 1989, we were playing in a game to go to the state championship game, and we lost on a field goal that was called good, that was wide left 10 feet. And they called it right, and we lost the game, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. And my teammates and I just had the 25th anniversary of that game, and we still get interview calls, media requests, and people still talk about us after that game. So, never know what you're going to be doing in 25 years. Blake O'Neill might be on ESPN, and Joe Bolden might be showing people he has superpowers, or he can be blocked to the ground and control where he lands. I mean, he could be the new Captain America or Thor or the Hulk or something. I mean, the newest Avenger, Joe Bolden. You can block me and I know where I'm landing. So, it's ridiculous.
The officiating on the field yesterday, I mean, you get used to a bad call here and there, and even when it goes up to the booth, sometimes you scratch your head and say, hey, how could they miss that too? But, there were several calls on Saturday, and I hate to cry about officiating. I try to stay away from that. But
justified after yesterday, buddy. They're completely 100% justified.
A couple of those were so glaringly bad, the Joe Bolden targeting penalty, and then the other one was the reception on the sidelines by Michigan State. How in the world they call that a catch, I have no idea.
I thought that was a catch, but I thought the one, and Coach Harbaugh talked about this after the game, was the Jake Reddick catching his own deflection and the guy face masking him. I mean, that's undisputed 15-yard personal foul. And let's do a little math here. How much time was left when we had to punt the ball?
Yeah, exactly.
10 seconds, right?
10 seconds, yes.
Okay. Now, our Michigan State friends will not understand this if they're listening, but if there's 10 seconds left in the game, and they called a personal foul earlier in the game, that's 15 free yards. So Mike, let's play a game for our Sparty friends. 15 yards, automatic first down. So you run 3 plays, right?
Right.
How many seconds do you need to kill in 3 plays to not have to punt the ball at the end of the game, Mike? A lot less than 10 seconds, buddy. Mike, take a shot. Take another shot. There you go, brother. Suck it down. Come on. I'll be all right. See, when people scream about referees, I just gave you an example. They make that call correctly. We're not talking about Blake O'Neill, and I'm not having to go on Twitter and Facebook with a bunch of my other Michigan brothers to defend the kid who's getting death threats. I don't really want to talk about that because it's a fiasco, but you have people like Bonnie Bernstein coming forward to defend Blake. So we got a bunch of people, Billy Taylor, Ed Moransky, John Gindia, a lot of my guys defending Blake, so it's not a problem. And Coach Baxter and other guys on the team have come out. Kenny Allen, my boy, 91, the kicker, coming out and defending him. Ridiculous that these morons are stooping that level and threatening a college kid. This is why I had to come forward with a bunch of my friends after 7 years of nonsense and fix this crap. But, you can lose. Michigan could lose the next 100 games, and I couldn't care less, and I will never threaten another kid. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's a kid who transferred here from another school. And by the way, if you ask around the country right now, he's the best punter in the country. 80-yard punt in that game. I mean, I'm sorry. Unless you got Jan Stenerud, Adam Vinatieri, or Ray Guy calling you, nobody should talk about this kid. So shut up and disappear and go watch another team. I'm a little fired up, Mike. I don't like when people threaten college kids.
To me, the main reason we were there, 23-21, up to that point, he was phenomenal again in the punting game.
Yeah, I'm not Tom Brady. I'm friends with Tom Brady. I don't rip kids in media. They're college athletes. It's stupid. It's these aren't Boston College last year lost the national championship in hockey. The goalie is a great player. I'm sorry, BU, BU lost the national championship last year. Go Google the goal. They lost the national championship game on. You see what I'm talking about. The goalie caught the puck. He was trying to play it, and he dropped it into his own net. That's how they lost the game. Jack Eichel's team with a bunch of other really good players, BU last year. So stuff like that happens. I mean, my hometown in Massachusetts is where Bill Buckner lived, and people ruined his life. So, stuff like this happens. That's a pro athlete, though. This is a college kid. And like I said, he came here. He wanted to play for Coach Harbaugh. He wanted to be part of a great turnaround. He's being coached by Coach Baxter. And that's the other thing. Anybody wants a piece of Coach Baxter, come find me. He's been a special team coach in the country. I've watched him everywhere he's been, Fresno State, all around the country. Leads the league in blocking kicks, kick coverage, and units. Look how good our kick teams are. That's on him. Hey, one bad play don't change the whole season. We wouldn't be where we are without this staff and these guys.
Very well said, Jay. Let's backtrack for a few minutes, Jay, and talk about you. I find it interesting writers, radio guys keep referring to you as the Beav, the dishwasher at the pizza house. But, as always, there's more to the story. Tell us a little bit about you, Jay, where you came from and how you made your way to the University of Michigan.
I grew up in Andover, Mass, a small town outside of Boston. Normal life, played football and baseball. Cam Cameron, who's now the offensive coordinator at LSU, came to recruit a couple of my teammates in high school, including Joe Marinaro, who's the captain of the 95 team here in Michigan, one of my best friends. And I hit it off with Cameron, and Cam helped get me out here to Michigan ultimately in 1993. Cam was getting ready to leave to take a pro job with the Washington Redskins, and I almost immediately when I came here in 93, I became really good friends with Coach Carr. I lived with Coach Carr's son, Jason, and I started working for the team in 93, stayed working for the team through the summer of 99, all over the place, made a lot of great friends. We had great teams when I was here. Tyrone Wheatley is now on the coaching staff, the running backs coach. I always tell people when you go to any organization or any team, if the best player in the team's a good guy or is good to you, you'd be okay. And Ty went out of his way. He doesn't even remember this, but he went out of his way to be really good to me. And that opened a lot of eyes. And obviously, like I said, Joe Marinaro was one of my best friends, and he was a starting left guard on that team and one of the best linemen on the team. So, I'm 150 pounds soaking wet, so I was pretty safe with Joe and the offensive linemen. Rod Payne, John Runyon, Mark Melia, Mike Sullivan, Trizell Jenkins had a really good group. It's funny, now I'm looking at things, but Mark Melia, who was one of the backup centers on that team, he and Rod Payne alternated because Rod got beat up a little, is going to be doing surgery for one of my bosses, my other job. She's getting her knee fixed, so that's funny how the world works. But it's basically my background, how I got out here, and I think I got it all. Go ahead, Mike.
Besides what you do at the Pizza House, you blog about your New York Mets, some other blogs.
TomSeaverFan.com, buddy. TomSeaverFan.com. Been doing that for almost 10 years. Anybody who reads my Facebook page or sees my blog, I'm not the biggest Matt Harvey fan. How he's handled things, if they could trade him to Afghanistan, I'd be in favor of it. Not a big fan, but he stepped up and pitched great last night. I'm concerned because what they had to do to beat the Dodgers, they had to extend Jacob deGrom and Syndergaard. Noah's pitching tonight, so it's going to be interesting. They're a really good team. They're a really good story. preseason, I picked them to make the playoffs on my blog, and I also picked them to win 90 games. And Mike, guess how many games they won exactly?
I'm not sure.
Take a wild guess. They won 90. But here's the thing, Mike. I also picked the Seattle Mariners to make the World Series. And I think I picked, who was the other one that I picked? It was insane. I think I picked the White Sox to win the Tigers division. But I picked the Tigers to be fourth, so I was wrong. They finished fifth. So, it's, I love baseball. I love all sports, but my parents got divorced when I was young, and my dad lived in New York for a lot of my childhood, so I spent a lot of times at Shea Stadium when the Mets were playing. And not coincidentally, when my dad was there, and this was in the mid-'80s, they got Keith Hernandez, Dwight Gooden, and Darryl Strawberry came up. They traded for Gary Carter. They got really good, and it was cool. And they drew the Red Sox in '86, a team I had zero to little use for, so that was fun to see and everything. But it's interesting how things work. I'm very excited about the Mets. They got a bright future going ahead. Should be fun next couple of years.
With us on our Michigan Game Day Extra this week is Jay Flannelly, also known as Beav. And again, if you've read the book Endzone, you read about Jay's part in helping get Jim Harbaugh to come home. And, Jay, last fall you found yourself involved in that effort to help convince Jim Harbaugh to come home. John Gindia was the guy that enlisted your help, wasn't he?
Yeah, like I said, I worked for the team in the 90s, and John was one of the first guys when I got here in 93. Boston is not a big college football area or a big college sports area outside of, well, most of it was college football. It's good in college hockey and some other things. But John went out of his way to kind of adopt me and tell me what's going on and explain things. And somebody I've known for a long time, I mentioned Mr. Brandstatter. He's another guy who really helped me. So, I came in kind of flying blind, and these guys looked out for me. So when things started to go wrong, Gindy and some other guys reached out to me, and we took it from there.
For folks that haven't read the book, they had different players calling, different captains calling Jim. And, of course, your friend, Tom Brady, is who they asked you to get in touch with. Tell that story.
Yeah. Well, this is really funny. One of the things that's cool about the book, and I give John a big credit for this, John Gindy, is he was doing a lot of stuff but not telling everybody what he was doing at the same time. So I really didn't get involved with the captains calling him until Coach Hoke was fired in November. That's when I enlisted two of my really good buddies, Jared Irons and John Jansen. Jared was the captain in 95 and 96, and John was the captain of the national championship team in 97, and also the following season in 1998. The best part, and I tell people this all the time about when you call these guys or email them or text them, they both reached out to Coach Harbaugh immediately. John Gindy had given me his number, and they both texted him and called him. Jarrett lives in Chicago, and John is local. He's out here. He's got his family and a couple of business interests he's going. He does the sideline stuff for Michigan. So they're around him. Whenever those guys are in town, John's in town more often, but they come in and see me at Pizza House. I saw them both last weekend. Jansen's like the biggest customer at Pizza House. He brought in two different parties on Friday night. So he's like an unofficial co-owner, for God's sake. He's at Pizza House so much. And he's filled in for Mr. Brandstatter a couple times. Now, after I had those things, I had Jarrett and John call. Things were going good. Momentum was going. We were getting a lot of coverage in the media that we could get Coach Harbaugh. And Gindy and I had my one ace hand to hand, and that's when I played it with John. Tom is one of my really good friends, and I've known him for over 20 years. And I'm a huge Patriots fan, which also adds to it. But I talked to him a couple times. I text him. I don't text him. I email him during the week. Game plan, who we're playing, everything okay, because I'm a football geek. I stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and watch tapes and just figure stuff out. And, I can usually figure out within 5 minutes of the Patriots playing whether things are going to go well or things are going to go bad. So, I'm always talking to Tom. I send him a pregame email the night before the game with a scouting report, and hey, I think Gronk's going to do well. I think Edelman's going to do well, that type of stuff. And so I do that. But here's the thing, and I talk about this in the book, and I also messaged Tom after the game. Tom Brady and I should be in the Olympics for the worst losers in the history of the world. We are both the worst. When Tom was here, he set the world record for breaking Sega controllers. So when he would lose, the controller would be broken. I mean, it was hilarious, which is really funny because he's like the nicest guy over me. I mean, Tom is just a phenomenal guy, great teammate. All of his teammates loved him when he was here. So I said to Gameday, I'll have Tom call, but they have to win. The first week I said that to him. They played the Packers in Green Bay and lost. And then the next week they beat the Chargers in San Diego. And I messaged Tom, like, Tom, hey, I'm working with a couple of people to try to recruit Coach Harbaugh to come back here and be our coach. And, Tom is like, Beav, Coach Harbaugh is exactly the type of guy we need. Now, and when Tom does stuff, he doesn't tell me what he does. He just does it. So I had no idea what happened, and then I started reading stuff in the paper, and all the other stuff that happened, it's in the book. It's there now.
Well, at what point did you say to yourself in this whole process then, Jay, you know what, I think Jim Harbaugh is coming home to Michigan?
It's funny, because I read that, and Gameday told me that John and Tom talked for 2 hours. And Tom basically told me he was coming. Now, the problem was the 49ers still controlled his rights. The most underrated part of this whole thing, and Professor Bacon and Gameday and Yale Van Dyne and the Flame and all my other friends, the most underrated part of this is, as great a job as we did, if the 49ers were smart and kept Jim or traded him like they tried to trade him, they had control of his rights. They screwed up. So what I started doing around the middle of November is started watching a lot of San Francisco, the Comcast Bay Area shows in San Francisco, and they were doing slander campaigns on Coach Harbaugh and just trying to take him out and just make him look bad. Because I went through a similar situation 20 years ago with the Patriots and Bill Parcells. So, and that's what it was a lot like, except it was much worse. And, I think it was the San Diego game where the 49ers lost on Thursday night, where they were down to like 3 defensive starters left on their team. They had a big lead, and they lost the game. And that's when I was figuring that Coach Harbaugh was going to get fired. And that's when I thought he was going to come. And, Tom called him. I ran into my man Billy Taylor at Pizza House, and Billy called him, and that was a big deal because, Billy's from a different generation, and everybody loves BT. He's one of my best customers at Pizza House. He's a great Michigan man. He's one of the guys defending Blake O'Neill the last 24 hours from people on my Facebook page. And when Billy Taylor calls, people listen. So around December 20th is when I was pretty much convinced that Coach Harbaugh was coming. And I texted him saying, hey, I'm sorry about all the negativity with the 49ers and happy birthday, happy holidays. And it's in the book, but he sent me a nice message back on Christmas. And the best part of that is, Mike, what do you think I was watching when Coach Harbaugh messaged me?
Probably an old Jim Harbaugh game tape.
Wow! Mike, you're good. 86 Fiesta Bowl. 86 Fiesta Bowl. So there you go. So that was pretty funny. It was really cool. People misunderstand Coach Harbaugh, and, he's a really good guy. The guy's into history. People think he's just football only. He's not. And I'm so glad he's here. And what happened yesterday, stuff happens. Like I said earlier, you went into the Super Bowl last year. You asked 100 million people who Malcolm Butler was, they wouldn't know who he was. Maybe me and like 10 other people in my family would know who he is, but not many other people would. And football and sports in general are strange games, and things happen. Daniel Murphy's a 280 hitter, and right now he's looking like Hank Aaron. So, it's and God, I would like Hank to continue to play this way for about the next 3 weeks. But things happen. We got a great guy, great leader here, and don't kid yourself. The Spartans are concerned. They know. Film don't lie. Film don't lie, buddy.
Well, even after Saturday's disappointment wears off, and it will wear off. Even for me, it's going to take a while. But what's clear is this team is headed in the right direction. It's
night and day. The coaching staff's incredible. There are some guys who were here when I was here. Coach Madison, Coach Campbell. They brought T.J. Weiss back, who was the interim head coach at UConn a couple of years ago. They're just tremendous stuff. Coach Zordich, Coach Jackson. If you look at what the positions were last year on this team, they were weak. Offensive line, defensive backs, wide receivers. They're 3 of the better units on the team now. Our defense coordinator is one of the hottest coaches in the country. He's not even 40 years old. We are winning games with special teams. The last couple of years, let's be honest, the last couple of years, we had a coach who didn't even know when his quarterback was unconscious. So, it's like, it's just different. It's a completely different mentality, what's going on with our team. You know, if you're going to bank on being our football team, you're going to block a punt with 10 seconds left in the game, hey, I'll take that every day and twice on Saturday. It ain't going to happen that often. The other thing is, vast majority of the kids out there playing have just met Coach Harbaugh. He doesn't have 4 to 5 years of work with them. And look how good he's got these guys going. We'll be fine. You know, it's part of what's taking the sting off the loss. And like I said, Mike, you ain't going to find anybody who hates the Spartans more than me. Okay? I've been on Twitter, you know, basically telling Magic Johnson where to go the last 2 weeks because of the Mets-Dodgers series, and he opened his mouth again, and I took care of him. But it is what it is. Congratulations, Sparty. Have your fun, run around, enjoy it while it lasts, because it can end, and you even know that. So, whatever. And Mike, I don't even know if you know this. The kid who blocked the punt broke his hip is out for the year. He got hurt in the pilot. His sister's tweeting about it. I guess he broke his hip. I hope the kid's all right.
Had surgery this morning.
I don't think he's ever going to pay for anything again in East Lansing. So, NCAA allowed, but, you know, the kid made a play and we didn't, and we lost.
Just wild, and you know, at least we have a coach, and I think the fans are going to have a harder time, like me and you, maybe getting over or forgetting about that ending. Jim Harbaugh is not going to let it linger. I think most of us are hoping when the Buckeyes roll in Thanksgiving weekend, we're going to be 9-2.
We got some tough games coming up. Minnesota's had a decent year. There's one other that Indiana's scoring points on people. We got some games coming up. See, Mike, how you lose another game off of this is, and not to make light of what you just said, looking ahead. You can look ahead. Right? We got a bye week. So this weekend we play bye. We're going to win that game, Mike. That's the good news. The week after that, we got another opponent that's coming in here. And I have a feeling they're going to pay because these kids are going to sit around and hear about this for the next week. You know, Joe Bolden's got, you know, he played about a quarter, so he's got some people to smoke. Have you guys noticed that I'm kind of upset about the Joe Bolden play? Have I mentioned that a couple times?
Didn't even want to bring that one up.
It completely impacted the game, too, because they had to play Gideon a lot more, and Gideon's more of a, they rotate the 3 guys inside, and Gideon's our best special teams player. Gideon's more of a nickel dime package guy, and Desmond and Joe are, you know, they're those 3 guys, there's 2 that play most of the time, and that's a huge impact on the game. And you know, with all the technology and everything they have in sports, we've seen this in almost every sport the last couple of years. So they got to get better officials, and they got to come up with something because they're going to screw somebody out of a Super Bowl. They kind of did last year in the playoffs. There were a couple of bad calls. You know, they're going to screw a team over severely, and because it's just inexcusable. I mean, if the Mets didn't come back and beat the Dodgers, I'd probably be in prison for going after Rod Manfred or Chase Utley. Take your choice. And, you know, for what happened in their series. Believe it or not, I think hockey has the best system right now where they have a command center and they do it. And, you know, I've heard other people like the dreaded Mike Valenti from Michigan State and the ticket here in Detroit, get full-time officials. They won't pay for it. It's all money. They won't pay for full-time officials. So that's how you fix it. Captain of our team got kicked out of the Michigan State game, got blocked to the ground and couldn't control where he landed.
Well, final thought from you then, Jay. Jim Harbaugh, how long do you think it's going to take him to have the program performing at an elite level on the field, not just competing? You're
going to like this answer. My buddy Heather Danich, who works for ESPN, she does the college football. I believe she's on the BCS selection committee, or she covers it. Before this weekend, we were in her top 4 with Utah, LSU, and I think it was Florida and us. Now she's got Utah, LSU, I think TCU, and MSU. We're right there. We are a top 10 team in the country right now. We're going to play 2 teams. We're going to play 3 teams because Utah's in the top 10. We're going to play in 3 teams in the top 10 by the end of the season. I think over the next 2 years, we will definitely be in the Final 4. The quarterback situation will take care of itself because, you know, I told Coach Harbaugh this when I met him. I think I could be your quarterback and you win 10 games. And I'm almost 44 and can barely walk, so that's a good thing. We're good now. We're right there. And I don't think this is ideally how Coach Harbaugh wants to play. I think he wants to, you know, he's playing to his personnel, unlike certain other people at Rich Rod, and to do what's good for the team. You know, wait until he gets his own recruiting classes. And I hate to say that in his excuse, but if you look, he's maximizing what he has. And they're, you know, he raises the level of players everywhere he goes, and it's consistent. I mean, go look what a dumpster fire the 49ers are right now. So that should tell you something. They had a lot of talent before he got there, and they weren't going in the right direction. He came in and, fixed some things and dotted some I's and crossed some T's, and look how good they were. I mean, part of the reason why Tom Brady was so excited to call Jim Harbaugh is he played the 49ers on a Sunday night game a couple of years ago. I think it was 2012. I've seen every game Tom Brady's played in his life since he was in college. I have never seen Tom Brady so confused and thrown off by a defense in my life than what the 49ers are doing. The first half of that game, Tom was lost in space. He was Will Robinson, and you could see that they had Tom completely thrown off. And Tom did what he did because he's a champion. He went in the locker room and figured it out. But wow, I mean, and like I said, I've seen 2 games in Tom Brady's life where he was thrown off by the other team's defensive coordinator, and Mr. Harbaugh had one of them. And that was Fangio, he's now the defense coordinator of the Bears, who are playing the Lions right now. That's part of the reason why Tom was so excited, because, when you go and compete against people, you learn what they're like. I think that was a big part of why Tom was so enthusiastic about helping them. That's my thought on that. We're going to get good real fast, Mike. You just relax. We're all right. We're there now. We're right there. We could play any team in the country and not be embarrassed. The thing that everybody remembers about the Coach Hoke administration was, they foolishly scheduled that Alabama game to start the second season, and Nick Saban had a Tupperware party down there, so it was not a good thing.
Our guest today here on the show, on our Michigan Man Extra this week, has been Jay Flannelly, also known as the Beav. And if you haven't picked up a copy of John U. Bacon's book yet, Endzone, just about everyone I know has, The Rise, Fall, and Return of Michigan Football. You can
right. Mike, I hope everybody's bought one, because I think I've signed about 10,000 of them myself. So that's Professor Bacon and I had an autograph signing at Pete's house last Monday night, and my arm is still trying to recover. So it's pretty crazy. It's not just me and Gameday and Coach Harbaugh. About 3/4 of it is how we got to here, our history of our program, the David Brandon administration, the Hoke administration, the Rich Rod administration, and how we got to this point. You learn some stuff, some tremendous information in there.
It's a great book for those folks who haven't read it yet. Check it out, and you'll get to read all about the Beav. We just scratched the surface in this half hour, Jay, so hopefully we can get you back on at some point in the future. Just talk some Michigan football.
Mike, I'll come back anytime you need me, brother. Go Blue, and everybody, and try to enjoy your weekend. And, it's going to sting extra with the bye week here. Come in, go out with your family, do something. Maybe come on and watch and support my Mets. Let's go Mets. Win for Ruben, buddy. Go Blue.
Thanks to Jay Flannelly, a.k.a. the Beav, for being my guest on our Michigan Man Extra here on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. On Wolverine Quick Hits, next week we'll be back with our Game Day segment on Tuesday and the Visitors Edition of the show on Thursday. This weekend we get to relax and watch college football and continue our recovery from last weekend's heartbreak. If you get the show from iTunes, take a minute to rate or review us. Thank you in advance. My free show app is available from iTunes, the Google Play Store, and the Windows 8 App Store. Follow us on Twitter at The Michigan Man, and on Facebook at The Michigan Man Podcast. You can also follow Wolverine Sports Radio on Twitter at Go Blue Radio. That will do it for today's Michigan Man Extra. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Have a great Wolverine weekend, everyone. We'll see you back here next week as we get ready for a trip to Paul Bunyan country and a Halloween night matchup with the Golden Gophers. So until then, take care, and as always, Go Blue. Thanks for joining us today on The Michigan Man, here on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. Our listener lines are open 24/7 for your calls at 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. or email us at themichiganmanpodcast@yahoo.com. That's themichiganmanpodcast@yahoo.com. The Michigan Man Podcast is produced at the studios of Robin Lynn Productions, Allen Park, Michigan, and is not affiliated with the University of Michigan. Go Blue!